So today we're reviewing
Child's Play.
This is going to be a random Halloween review. We did a Halloween series the last couple years, but we aren't doing an official Halloween series this year since it's already almost Halloween. But I did happen to watch Child's Play for the first time just a little over a week ago. And today I am joined by
Karen.
Barry.
I guess we want to start with Mom. You want to start with your
Right.
overall thoughts of Child's Play?
I thought it was a really good movie. There was suspense. There was a nice storyline. There's not gore. There were some jump scares. I thought it was a very well done movie.
Dad.
Good old Chucky. Child's Play, I definitely liked. I thought it was a good horror movie. I don't think it's for kids by any means, even though it's based on a kid's toy. Just think it's a good, scary movie that definitely is a little bit of a thriller and probably a good Halloween fit.
So this is an older movie that I hadn't seen for a while, and I wish I had, because it does have that kind of creepy atmosphere to it, kind of similar to Michael Myers. That it's a movie where there's not crazy special effects, but a lot of stuff in this movie that happens is really creepy. Some stuff showing less is more, kind of like a lot of other scary movies we've reviewed. But I thought it was really good, and I was on edge in this movie, just watching it in my living room. And it was scary. Just say like your biggest positives first before we go into specific things.
Biggest positives, in a scary movie like this, like I said, a positive would be that I don't think it had a lot of gore, like Karen said. Even though it does have some, like Kenny said, I think it's a suspenseful movie.
There's some gory.
There
brutal
is
scenes.
some gore, but not compared to what movies have turned into with gore in today's day and age. I think I said this before, that scary movies for me are always like, not knowing what's coming around the corner. It doesn't have to be gore, but just, scary things that make your imagination run, and, you're always on the edge of your seat for something to happen.
I think my biggest positive is just the storyline and how there's this doll that's basically the same exact size as this kid, and they have the same shoes because he's the good guy's shoes. So when they see footprints, just the whole storyline, how they're starting to blame the kid for these murders, when in reality it's the doll. So I just think the storyline was my biggest positive.
Yeah, it is very believable as to how Chucky's able to do stuff in this movie and stay very hidden, because you never think it's a doll. It's a murder. And the main story of the movie is when they're trying to figure out what's going on. The babysitter gets killed, and they're trying to figure out how it happened. There's a lot of shots of the camera being the doll, and you don't actually see Chucky doing much, which in my opinion, it probably saved them money in the movie, but it added a lot to it, kind of like Jaws, you imagining the shark, imagining the doll running around and doing stuff, and imagining him talking to the kid in particular, and saying those things is a lot creepier, I think, than actually showing it. Have the kid saying, "He told me this," is a lot creepier, in my opinion. For a lot of the movie, that's how it is. And do we want to go into, I guess, you want to say like a standout scene?
Yes. So
You kind of go back and forth.
my favorite scene is it's after the boy's in the hospital. They're the mom. They're telling the mom that he's the murderer, and she can't believe it. And so she's back in the apartment with Chucky, and Chucky's sitting on the couch. Or I don't even know where Chucky is, but she picks up the box, and she starts reading about the box, and the batteries fall out onto the floor. So then she has to walk over, and she picks up Chucky, and she looks in the battery compartment and sees that he has no batteries.
And he's being able to talk.
And she, of course, drops him, and he rolls under the couch, and so that's like a pretty exciting moment, because she realizes that at that point he's been doing all this
For some
not
reason, I
batteries.
thought it was like grenades. I don't know
Well,
why. I
she
didn't
still
think.
had the
I thought
batteries.
like it showed that Chucky had grenades and was gonna blow one up. I don't know why I thought that. But the idea of a specific scene.
Specific scene. This is always tough in a movie I like because obviously there's more than one. But I guess for this review, we'll piggyback on what Karen said because that's one of my favorite scenes. But I believe when she's yelling at the doll and she's trying to get it to talk, his head spins around like a little bit of The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
And kind of a creepy scene.
I think though the most scary scene is probably when kid gets back to the hotel room, gets back to the room, and I guess he was alone at the hospital. And then he gets back, and then it's just him and Chucky in the room. And he's
Yeah.
running away, and it's creepy because obviously it's a little kid, and he's
Yeah.
eye level with the doll. So him
It is
trying to
definitely
escape the
scarier
doll
for him.
when it's his height is really creepy. Do you want to go into a?
Well, kind of a funnier
scene.
scene, another standout scene is with that babysitter who he ends up killing. She kind of like, she's just like dangling him by his
Yeah.
arm, and she's bumping his head into things and like throws him on the couch, and so it's not funny, but he's like thinking, okay, I'm gonna get
Yeah,
her.
the movie you can tell like
you
that's
can
not
tell
gonna-
that's not gonna end well for her, and it didn't.
when you kind of think about like, at least I thought about it as a kid. Whenever I'd be like scared of a doll, I never wanted to do anything bad to it.
Right,
I
for
kind of
that
always
reason.
imagine like if this doll comes back and try to, I
Right.
didn't want to be mean to it, and it's kind of silly to think about that.
Go to your toys.
No, I think that's at least that's been a scary part in movies for me that I think everyone, or at least most people, can have a relation to as far as like a doll that they grew up with, or a doll that was in the house, and then you see movies like Poltergeist, and there's a few others that do those kind of things with dolls. It is a little creepier for some reason. I mean, it's scary enough to have scary humans around, but I think when it's put into a toy or like a doll like that, it's definitely more creepy to me.
Do you have any negatives, maybe?
I mean, negatives. Well, the movie I like, there really are no negatives that make the movie bad. But if you had to pick one, since this is a segment we do, there was some. And when saying negatives, I just think there's things in movies sometimes that don't make as. They did a real good job to implement a doll into this movie to make it make sense. But I think there were some scenes that, how he grabbed door handles, how he did certain things.
Got up elevators.
That was hard to match up, but hey, it is what it is. It's a doll that comes to life.
Yeah, my negative would be the scene with the mom at the end. I just think he is a big doll. I mean, it's not like he's a little doll. And so it was harder for the little kid to get away, but I feel like I could fight a little doll. Like something that's like when she's like can't escape
And the guy
him
at the
and
end
they're
is really
fighting
stupid
him.
too.
Or they keep getting down on their knee. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
feel like that's my. But it's again.
Well, no,
you have
not
to
only
make
that,
it, but
not only the mom, but then the guy, the cop guy, is
Big
just
trouble.
pathetic in the end of the movie. He gets like stabbed, he like sliced in the
gets
arm,
stabbed.
and he's just like laying on the ground. Like, why are you laying on the ground? And like, especially that doll. I mean, it would not be. I can't say I have experience with fighting a doll. It's a
they're
bigger doll,
superhuman
but I feel
powers.
like kicking would be a lot more effective than
Yes.
trying to aim with a tiny like gun. That's the one time where a gun would not be the right weapon. It is
Right.
scary though with the way Chucky like bites her arm, and you can tell it's doing real damage. I mean, that would be
Right.
scary. You would not be eager to
No,
fight a
I
doll if
agree.
it could bite and do that kind of damage. That's
Yeah.
creepy.
I mean, it is creepy. I just
and it's I don't know, but
when you're fighting a full-size person or like a zombie, that to me it's like it's a
yeah.
doll.
But I do think another like big scene I wanted to talk about was the car scene where the cop guy that Chucky's somehow in his car, and he starts cutting through the bottom of the seat, and he can't touch the brake anymore, and then Chucky's like stabbing. That was a really kind of funny scene in a way, but it was a really suspenseful scene because I didn't think he was going to survive. And spoiler alert, he does.
I just on that was going to be one of my scenes outside of the one I gave. I thought Kenny was going to use that, but I agree.
I'm just talking about random scenes.
If you're anyone that's driven a car, which is going to be most people that are of age, it's hard enough to drive a car, but when you have something distracting you like that, it was that was suspenseful. I mean,
Yeah.
because he's stabbing a knife up through the seat that could hit him in a lot of different places, and he's trying to drive a car, move the gas, the brake, and just to throw this out there, I know Kenny's gonna remember this. This past summer, we had a large hornet get into our car, and he actually went under my seat. And so that would be my, relation to that scene. That it's not. I had to stop the car, get out, and we were not driving because I'm not going to have something under the seat that potentially could sting me.
That was it was kind of similar. It wasn't a killer at all, but because I think we've talked about most of the scenes. I mean, it's a classic movie. Obviously, it's the original. The later Chucky's I haven't seen, but this had a really creepy atmosphere to it. I mean, it's kind of cool how the characters slowly start figuring out the doll is alive, but then at the end, it's not enough to where. I mean, it's impossible to prove that to anyone unless they see it. So it's only like 3 people at the end. But it does. They burn him, and then he's still alive. He comes out, and then his head is detached. And obviously, all the movies you've seen, we were kind of talking about it. There's no way you can confirm to me that he's dead from that,
Right.
Because his head is still there and his body's still there. So he could easily still be alive. But that's the kind of thing. At the end, they chop his head off, and he still grabs that one guy,
Yeah.
which I don't know how strong. That's another negative I had is, does he have opposable fingers?
Just
I
when
don't
he
know.
needs to.
Because that's not a name, but
He
it's
might
very
have,
big.
like, yeah, I think he has a thumb
Well, he shot a gun too, so
Yeah.
yeah.
with his little hands.
They have to stretch it a little bit in movies like this, but overall, I think they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, it was definitely a creepy movie. I'm glad I was able to see it. Glad I could see it. But what we give our scores for it? Out of 10.
I will go with an 8.5 to 9.
Pick a score.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
8.5.
Okay,
8 out of 10.
Yeah, see, it's kind of tricky because it's an older movie, so
I
feel like-
give it an 8 because it's not your normal killer. It's a good horror movie. It's different from the normal like slasher killer. Even all these possessions and all the like, I don't know, like it's a different movie.
Yeah.
And there's suspense, so I give it an 8.
I'd probably give it an 8 as well. I think because it didn't like blow me away. I mean, the original Michael Myers Halloween
Yeah, it's not a 10.
was just like iconic, and that I remember that haunting me as a kid, but I was also a kid.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was a little uneasy after watching the movie because I was watching alone, but it was still scary, and I think an 8 out of 10 is accurate because it has good scenes. But this is one of our Halloween reviews. We might be reviewing another Halloween movie, maybe. We might be reviewing The Visit next with Jake, possibly. That's one that we haven't reviewed. And if there's any other movies that we should review, make sure you let us know down below. Anything else?
No.
No, I would say, besides our scores, definitely I thought it was good acting in this movie, and you got to throw a shout out to the kid. I
The
think
kid was super.
He was a really
He
good
was
job.
super
actor.
when he's crying and he's like scared. You feel bad for the kid
Well,
because
yeah.
no one believes him when he's like, I didn't do anything.
Well, I think the relatable thing to kids probably would draw that relationship to the doll, and so it's just I thought it was a good match of very believable,
Yeah, the kid was really cute.
something fictional.
Also,
wonder
it's a
who
good
was
thing
ever
to
in
make you
their
feel
movies.
weird if your kid ever starts talking to a doll.
I know.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.
Happy Halloween.
So today, my voice is cracking up. So today,
There you
Oh,
go. Weird
sorry.
review.
Ugh.